guy blew the dirtiest balloon in the world to get revenge on his crush. So they always practiced boxing on the same park where she did yoga. Without wasting any time, they went on to prepare the spot to prank her. First, they took a balloon and filled it with charcoal powder. Once it was filled, he took the blower and started to fill air on the balloon. Even after pumping for 30 minutes, the balloon stayed the same size, which was a bit concerning. So the guy took an initiative to fill the air using his mouth, and he didn't care how dirty it was because she hurt him more than you could imagine. Instead of being irritated, he was actually excited in how the prank will be executed. The next step was to make the balloon look similar to the punching ball. Since they were artists, they somewhat made it look like the ball. So they taped the balloon onto the holder and they stuck a pin on the gloves. And to hide it, they used black tape so it would camouflage. So they instantly walked towards her for asking her to join them for the practice. But she was reluctant because she hadn't completed her yoga. But then they carried her to the spot forcefully to practice. So they told her this is the punching ball and all she has to do is punch. So she started imitating the guy who she turned down. So the guy recommended her it's better to use the gloves so her hand wouldn't pain. But the girl had no choice to accept what they said, and she wore the gloves. She kept looking at the person in front of her because she really suspected him of recording. But the guy drifted her concentration by showing her ways to get charged up before throwing a punch. Even though the guy didn't have any knowledge of boxing, he kept acting like he was a pro. Since the girl was a beginner at it, she was blindly believing him. While she was practicing, they were just laughing at her for being such a noob at it. Instead of correcting her posture, they just went with the flow because the revenge was much more important. So now she was ready to box. And when she ran to throw the punch, she went with the uppercut, which was a complete red flag. So the guy went up to her crying and instructed her to give a straightforward punch. Instead of practicing punches, she started doing dance moves. So they asked her to stop it and practice the punches. Now it was time for round 2, and she stopped at the end once again, which made the guy feel sus. He thought maybe she knows what was inside the ball, but she just had question marks on how should she punch. So he was completely annoyed with her. Now he feels he was saved from this relationship because of her rejection. So he wanted to just get over with this prank because he had no choice. So he gave few more tips just so she throws that punch. So it was final round and she gave the best punch of her life, but the charcoal powder burst on her face, causing shock in her brain.